Hello there, I'm Joey Hollywood, and today I'll be reviewing Bloody Tease from 2004, which is the second movie on the Grindhouse double feature 3D Blu-ray from 3D Ultimate Heaven. Now, I was actually really looking forward to watching this one, because it comes from director Brad Skies, who did a couple movies that I really enjoyed called Camp Blood and Camp Blood 2. He even did another one called Within the Woods, which was sort of a semi-kind of sequel. And I really like the Camp Blood movies because they're very ambitious despite their flaws. You go into the Camp Blood movies expecting the same shot-on-shitio stuff you see in all of them, but it almost seems like if this guy had a little bit more time, a little bit more money, he could have done something really great. And that's what I really like about those two Camp Blood films. So when I saw that he directed Bloody Tease, I was expecting more of the same, and I didn't get that. The movie starts off with probably the lamest birthday party ever. Look at this guy, he looks utterly pathetic.
Oh my God, this is the best birthday present of my life.
Yes, it's my best birthday party ever. I look to get boobies. Look at this little hat. Look at this little hat. Looks like they went to Party Works and bought all this stuff for like 20 bucks.
Happy birthday to me! Woo!
Man, these are the most modest strippers I've ever seen.
Sure, I'm thirsty.
And this is what you get for having your birthday party at the Titty Twister. And after some brief credits that do not give away plot points in the movie, unlike Blood Sisters, we meet our main characters.
What's up, Ken?
Hey man, what's going on?
Look, those chicks are checking you out over there.
It's too bad I have a girlfriend, huh?
Dude, just do what I do. You can sleep with other girls, just make sure your girlfriend doesn't find out.
So they read about the dead guy in the newspaper and decide to snatch up his apartment. And the movie builds up like this is actually like a key plot point. Like this apartment is somehow going to tie into the film, which it never does.
Yeah, but I mean...
What an awkward transition. It looks like he was about to say something.
Looking good!
Renting an apartment in action. Thrill as you see. Moving boxes. Vacuuming. Straightening things. Wow. Thank you, Bloody Tease. Never before have I seen such thrilling moving action in 4x3 nonetheless. After they're all moved in, they look like they live in their grandma's house. It's probably where they shot this thing. And it's here where they stumble across an advertisement for the Fetish Jam, which is kind of like a low-rent titty twister. How did it get under their couch? I have no idea, but let's move on. They get a new roommate to help move in, and he's a complete nerd! Look, he's a nerd.
Made straight A's in high school.
This guy is probably one of the most awkward individuals in the entire film, and to be honest, I don't know if he is insufferable or if he makes the scenes he's in.
So is it cool if I move in tonight? I'm all packed. And my mama says it's okay if I'm home by 9:30 every night.
The awkward things he says, I go between hating him and loving him.
Well, Martin, if you promise not to tell, we might be able to keep you out till 10:30.
Well, these are our college days.
Also, despite coming off like an innocent Mormon kid, he's super thirsty.
And I must say there are a few attractive females in the field as well.
He's like talking about boobs and all sorts of stuff, and it's just funny coming out of this guy's face hole.
Put your hand on there, Martin.
Ready to party?
Now there's this thing in the movie where I guess it's a plot point, like I guess it's a major plot point in the film, but it kind of isn't. There's this guy who's apparently hunting these vampires for almost his entire life to avenge one of his family members being killed by them. So of course he goes in there with a gun knowing that the gun will not help him, knowing that everything he's doing is wrong. So much so that he wrote a book about all the things that he's doing is not the things you should do. Like I said, I'd almost just skip over this part of the movie, but the movie acts like it's an important thing, like they get his book and stuff, but it's not important at all. It's very weird to describe. I guess you'll just have to go and get the Blu-ray and watch it yourself. And when he walks into the strip club, there's this really bad special effect. I'm not even sure what they were attempting to do, but it's interesting.
No kissing. Other than that, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
I like how this guy is going in there to specifically kill these people, but not before he gets his lap dance. Oh, sorry, I fell asleep. And welcome to the padding in this film. In Blood Sisters, it was the stripping. In this, it's pretty much everything, from the stripping to the moving to setting things up. It just goes on. I'm sure if you cut that stuff down to a reasonable amount of time, this movie would probably be around 30 minutes.
Get off.
What the fuck are you doing?
What I've been trying to do for the past 10 years. Kill you and your fucking vampire friends.
Bob, eh? So you're Robert Gecko.
Bob for short.
Haha, very funny.
From Boston to Chicago, Phoenix, and now LA. That's classic.
Well, apparently we've been doing a pretty good job because we've managed to keep you off of our tail all of this time.
I've been waiting for the right moment.
I love the way they're talking to each other right now. Remember when X happened to this? Yes, of course I remember that, because this is things that happened and we have experienced them, so there's no reason why we would discuss them in this manner.
Wanna bet?
Well, that's our Van Helsing, everybody. Bye!
Who was he anyway?
Robert Gecko, a self-proclaimed vampire hunter. He's been after us for the past 10 years.
And more exposition.
All right, Hooters.
Hey, I know that. They're watching Blood Sisters. Man, they must have got this Blu-ray too.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
It's amazing how those jokes still play even in 2058.
So they talk the nerd and go to the strip club, and they eventually go.
How you doing? My friends and I were looking for a good time.
Well, you came to the right place. How are you guys doing tonight?
They act like they've never seen a lady before, and in the case of Martin, I'm pretty sure that is the case.
Looking pretty good so far.
Man, I sure love average-looking women with stuffed bras and fake wigs. And more padding, just more dancing and non-stripping.
Oh man, heck yeah. Yeah.
I will never need Viagra again.
You'll never need Viagra again? What? Why would you say that? That's not a cool thing. Taking Viagra is not a cool thing.
I was wondering if maybe you'd want to go back to my place and watch video games or something. I've got Tomb Raider 7. Do you want to go back to my place and have sex with me?
Okay, so the vampire woman who is seducing him so they can eat him is offended that he asked her for sex. Oh my gosh, human patriarchy in action. I'm gonna go on Vampire Tumblr and blog about this. Okay, so instead of killing them right then and there, they don't. Matter of fact, they let all three of them live. And one of them actually goes home with the guy. to have sex with him in a scene that lasts longer than it should, and then still doesn't kill him. Don't tell me these people are in love. They barely know each other. What is this, a Disney movie? And for those of you who are wondering, no, sex is not tinted blue. This movie has more padding than this woman's bra. So these individuals are so sad and pathetic and just don't know what women are in general, to the point that they're actually talking about going to the strip club again the next day. It's almost like in the movie, it seems like time should have passed between these two moments, but that hasn't. But luckily for them, they don't actually go to the strip club. They go to their apartment to have one of the lamest parties I've ever seen on film. I know this is supposed to be a cool party, but these people just look so pathetic. And the movie ran a little bit short, so these two have sex for a little while.
Martin, do one cool thing in your life and have another beer.
Behold, acting. Man, there's something about Marvin moaning that really bothers me. Kind of turns me on, too. Okay, so these creeps put a camera in Marvin's bedroom to watch him have sex. And they act like this is something cool. Like they're not total creeps. Like they're not psychopaths.
Oh yeah! Martin's finally getting some!
And I'm not even sure, like, anything that could go on in Marvin's bedroom would be remotely interesting or worthy to watch. And finally, a vampire kills one of these idiots. Why they waited till now, I have no idea. So these idiots want to avenge their friend's death that they've exploited and made fun of. But no, he was their friend, so they gotta avenge his death instead of calling the cops. So they go after the girl, and they catch her killing of some guy, and then they freak out, and they go back home because they couldn't just watch it on the film, go, holy crap, there's vampires. But no, we had to have, 5 extra minutes of, let's go kill them. Oh, never mind, they're vampires. So they go home and they start listing much better vampire movies.
Lost Boys, Subspecies.
Oh, hey, don't forget Dracula.
Yep, I'd rather be watching that right now. Reading comics for research, I can think of another bad vampire movie that did the same thing. So they get a book and they find out that they can't kill these vampires through the normal means. Instead of staking them through the heart or sunlight or whatnot, they have to stake them in the eyes. And it's just as silly as it sounds. It's at this point in the movie where they want to prepare for the vampires that are coming to get them. So they take a page right out of Home Alone and set up traps all over the house, which buys up all 3-4 minutes of runtime. And guess what? It never comes into play. This setup has no payoff at all.
I think I'm going to bed.
Why? Why are you going to bed? I don't care if you're tired or not. If vampires are coming to get you and you set up traps throughout your house to protect yourself, why on God's green earth would you go to bed? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And if you really were that dang tired, you go to bed in front of your friend just in case one of them gets you. This is like common sense. And I hope it's no surprise, but this moron gets killed. Okay, so this vampire tries to seduce this guy, and for some reason it's working. Like I'm not going to get over this. They spent hours setting up their house to catch these vampires. This guy knows she's a vampire. And yet he's still like going with it, and it's not like he's being like fully seduced. Like, it's not like, you know, in Dracula where he's like, yes, yes, come to me. No, he's literally just making out with her like nothing's happened.
What about your girlfriend?
Soon to be ex.
She's a vampire, you idiot. You know this.
And this is probably my favorite line in the entire movie.
Ah! What are you doing? You're getting too rough.
What are you doing? You're getting too rough. I'm gonna go see what my shirtless man friend in the other room is doing. Okay, so I haven't mentioned her yet, but there is another character in this film. Another female character that is not a vampire. And that's Ken's girlfriend, who's literally phoned in her performance up to this point. She just shows up out of the blue to witness the vampires, and then they team up. Like, literally after they admit that he's cheating on her, they're like, oh, our love will never die. It's... what? Now they're teaming up to kill the vampires, and it's so deserved because these two have just they've had so much chemistry throughout the film. It's not like one's been gone the entire time, the other one's been cheating on the other for the entire movie. Nah, these characters, they're so strong, and we want them to defeat the vampire menace. And eventually, you know, they kill the bad guy, and that's a really weird time to make out. Uh-oh, it looks like the story is not over. She was bitten. Yes, it is. There's no more movies after this. And here's the coolest shot in the whole movie. I don't know why this stuck out to me as interesting, but I actually really like this. And the movie's over. Now, I did not like this movie as much as Blood Sisters. This one just kind of fell flat for me on an entertainment level. I love bad movies, but there are some bad movies that are just not enjoyable in the bad movie way. Now, I wanted to like it because I do like Brad Sky's other work. Whereas Camp Blood rises above its problems and restrictions due to poor budget and the type of camera they're using, and becomes something that is worth watching on its own while also still being funny in the shot-on-shitty way. Where this just kind of... I think what the biggest problem is it's too padded. I think that's the main criticism I have with this. There's too much padding. The characters are not dumb enough to be really funny. I can't enjoy it in the same way I enjoy Camp Blood, where it rises above its problems and tells an interesting little story. Where this one, it's just a very bland story that doesn't make any sense, and it's not so much funny bad. There's very few laugh out loud moments. But if you are interested in getting this movie, it is available on Blu-ray, as I said before. And the funny thing is, the Blu-ray menu actually shows the first bit of this film. Like, it shows the opening credits, a little bit of the opening, and it just loops. It's one of the strangest main menus I've ever seen on a Blu-ray. It's really funny. Well, that was my review for Bloody Tease. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time, where we'll see Jesse Ventura trying to avoid VD.
You are one cool motherfucker.
You too.
That must be some good beer.
It's the best, I tell you. The best!